All right, guys, this is day 2 of our benchmark unit 2. Okay, ways characters shape stories. Okay, and we have a new packet. Okay, this is benchmark unit 2, characters and fables. Okay, in this unit, we will identify key details and summarize, analyze characters, identify feature, cite evidence of fables, and we're going to compare and contrast fables. Okay, so we're going to look for 3 common features in a fable. It's a short story. 2, animals or objects that act like humans. Most of the time, animals or objects, they talk to each other, okay, or they talk, okay. And then 3, there's a lesson that is learned, okay, or moral of the story, they call it, okay. So we're gonna read The Tortoise and the Hare, and then we're gonna annotate, underline, maybe number paragraphs, circle words that are key words or key phrases. If there's a question to anything that we may have, we might put a question mark next to it and write our question. Okay. And then as a class, we're going to discuss the key details and write a summary. Okay. So first, we're going to complete a character. We're going to complete a character analysis on chart paper. Okay. This is just page 1 or the first page. Okay. It says the tortoise and the hare. Let's just read this and follow along. It says there once was a speedy hare who bragged about how fast he could run. Tired of hearing him boast, the tortoise challenged him to a race. All the animals in the forest gathered to watch. Hare ran down the road for a while and then paused to rest. He looked back at Tortoise and cried out, "How do you expect to win this race when you are walking along at your slow pace?" Hare stretched himself out alongside the road and fell asleep thinking, "There's plenty of time to relax." The tortoise walked and walked. He never ever stopped until he came to the finish line. The animals who were watching cheered so loudly for Tortoise they woke up Hare. Hare stretched and yawned and began to run again. Okay, but it was too late. Tortoise was over the line. After that, Hare learned his lesson. Slow and steady wins the race. All right, let's go ahead and read this again. And we're going to highlight some things that are probably important to know. So, for example, it says the tortoise and the hare. Might want to highlight the title, huh? There once was a speedy hare who bragged about how fast he could run. You think that's important? I think it is because it kind of tells us what kind of person he is, huh? Right? I really don't want to be around someone that brags all the time. So, and he's a speedy hare, so that means he's fast. So that's important. Right. Tired of hearing him boast, the tortoise challenged him to a race. Oh. So who's the other character? Tortoise. And what did he do? Challenge him to a race. Because he got tired of him. All the animals in the forest gathered to watch. Is that really important? Not really. It doesn't really talk about the 2 main characters, do they? Hare ran down the road for a while and then paused to rest. He looked back at the tortoise and cried out, "How do you expect to win this race when you're walking along at your slow pace?" Okay, so he asked the question. So does he believe the tortoise could win? No, he doesn't. Hare stretched himself. No, stretched. Sorry, Hare stretched himself along, out alongside the road and fell asleep. So he basically just went, "Oh, you know how you like stretch before you go to bed and like, oh, and then you get all comfy." Okay, there's plenty of time to relax. We'll see. Tortoise walked and walked. He never ever stopped until he came to the finish line. Huh? Don't you think that's important? What does that tell you about Tortoise? He never gave up. He was very persistent. He had a goal. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. Okay, I got this." Okay, the animals who were watching cheered so loudly. Tortoise For Tortoise, they woke up Hare. Hare stretched and yawned and began to run again, but it was too late. Tortoise was over the line. What does that mean? He was over the line. Lena? He crossed the finish line. Did he cross the finish line first or second? First. So did he win? Yes. But they didn't tell us that he won. But that, based on that sentence, you kind of assume, right, that he won, right? Yes. After that, Hare learned his lesson. Okay. So remember, we said that the stories are short, which this is short, right? Okay. Fables has three things in common. The stories are short. Do the animals talk to each other? Yes, they do. Is there a lesson to be learned? Yeah. What did Hare learn? Just tell me.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, slow and steady wins the race. All right, so now we're going to look at the fable titled "The Tortoise and the Hare." Okay, and we're going to write some key details and summarize in this chart. Okay, so go ahead and write "Tortoise and the Hare" at the top. So when we write the key details, let's start from the beginning of the story and go in order. Okay, okay, okay. So one of the key details that we have, okay, the tortoise had a problem. What do you think that was? Yes, he was tortoise. Okay, was tired of hearing Hare boast, right, or brag. Same thing. So what did Tortoise do? What did he do, Alana?
He challenged Hare to a race.
Yes, he challenged Hare to a race. Okay, and then what happened? So they raced. Then what? Yes. So he fell asleep during the race, right? Good. And how did he get woken up? Rami? Okay, they're not people though. All the other animals cheered for Tortoise. Good. And woke Hare up, but it was too late, huh? Hare lost. And what happened at the end? What was he learned something? What was it?
He learned his lesson not to brag about.
Yeah, Hare learned a lesson. Okay, now we're going to the bottom section. It says summarize with moral, lesson, or central message. Okay, so here's just a little summary. So Tortoise raised Hare, right? Okay, Hare boasted. Oops, sorry. Boasted, and I need a space right there. Boasted so much that he fell asleep during the race. Meaning, you know what? He's like, you know what? I really don't need to run fast. I'll just take a break because I'm awesome. I'm fast. No one can beat me. I could just take a nap right here, and he still won't beat me. But that wasn't the case, and that was it. Tortoise won the race because he never gave up. And the moral of the story or lesson, okay, is slow and steady wins the race, right? Okay, here we're gonna do a character analysis, okay, and we're gonna pick hare. But the story title is Tortoise and the Hare. Okay. The character we're going to be analyzing is Hare. And what's one character trait that you think he displayed?
Bragger.
Okay. He bragged.
He's selfish.
Selfish. Was he disrespectful?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It says evidence from evidence that supports the trait. Okay. So how was he disrespectful? How was he disrespectful? Aaron?
Because he judged the person he was racing.
Okay.
Not judge, but more like what's that word where they.
The text says that Hare, what was he doing?
Bragging.
Yeah. The text says that Hare bragged about how fast he was. How fast he could run. Okay. So what was the effect on the story? Well, the tortoise got tired of it, right? Yes? Tortoise was tired of Hare bragging, of Hare boasting that he challenged Hare to a race.